All right. Welcome in, everyone. This is A Programmer Plays Master Key, more Nonograms. Last time we played the 1st through 9th Nonograms. Had a pretty good time. Figured we'd do it again. So, starting with number 10, let's get cooking. All right. This is a slightly rough start here. Alright, so this is... I'm just going to go ahead and... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great. Alright. So, 14 wide. That's a lot. Does that help me here? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know that those aren't there. We can be confident. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so given our horizontal 9, we know that these 5 are filled in. Similarly, for this horizontal 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we know that that 7 has to be filled in because that's the leftmost edge of the horizontal 7 and the rightmost edge of the horizontal 7 as well. So that's good. That gives us something vertical 3, so we know that that has to be there. We also have a vertical 3 here, so we know that this has to be filled in. We've got a vertical 2, that doesn't really help us. A vertical 7, so vertical 7, so at the minimum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh. There's no way for this to be filled in because then we wouldn't have enough room. So we can block that out. We know that that's in there. And that also then tells us our 3, and then these have to be 2. All right, that one actually filled that row, so that was good. We've got a 2 and a 9 here. This is 14 wide, so that doesn't give us a ton of wiggle room here. We could make some assumptions about that, but I kind of don't feel like counting yet. I don't know if y'all can hear that out there, but ooh, that is a rough sound. All right. This horizontal 7, that means that these two have to have something between them. That tells us that that vertical 2 there has to end there. Cool. Does that help us with anything else? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know that these can't be filled in. Doesn't super help us, but maybe. So looking at this vertical 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so it could reach all the way up to here. Unlikely, but possible. What else can we infer safely? I guess I need to do the math here. So 1, 2, space, looking at the horizontal 2 and 9. So 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So bare minimum, this has to be filled in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we know that those have to be filled in. We've got a 3 vertically here. So we know that this needs to be filled in. Same story here. We know that this needs to be filled in. It's possible that this is the 2 down here. Similar story. We know that we've got a 4 down here. So at least these 2 need to be filled in, and also here. That does actually tell us, looking at this horizontal row, horizontally 1, 2, 4, 2. So we know that that has to be the 4. which then also tells us the 2 and the 1 have to go here, and the 2 and the 1 have to go here. I probably could have just figured that out, but can we figure out anything about those? No. Okay, so we've got this vertical 7, so we know that these two have to be filled in, and assuming this is, if this were the bottommost point of that vertical 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these all have to be blocked out. And if this was the bottommost was here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We know that this has to be on, and that gives us a left edge for this horizontal 3. So there we go. There's that 3. Because this is blocked off, we know that the 8 can't go over it, that vertical 8. So if this were the bottommost edge of the 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which gives us a left edge for some of these others. This horizontal 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that has to be blocked off. And then similarly, if this horizontal 4 was at its leftmost arrangement, it would have to be there. If it was at its rightmost arrangement, it couldn't reach to here. Over here, we've got a 4 that we know has to be there. Leftmost arrangement of this 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rightmost arrangement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. Alright. We can extrapolate a little bit more vertically, but I'm going to keep going horizontally. So horizontally, leftmost arrangement of this horizontal 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, and this 7. I'm going to skip the 7 for now. All right, we've got a 4 down here. And I think we can infer that the 4 has to be like that, right? Because there's no way for it to, yeah, we can go ahead and block some stuff off. So the 4 might be here, or it might be here vertically. This does give us a left edge for this 9, so we can block those in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there might be a 9 here, it might be on the other edge. That also gives us, for this 3 over here, has to be over like this. Because that 3's there, we know that this has to be the 2, so we know that this is blocked off, and this has to be the other 2, so we can block that off. Nice. Looking vertically, we've got this vertical 3. 3 can't fit in here. Great. Which tells us horizontally, this 7 can't reach over to here, and this 9 can't reach over to here. So this 7, in its horizontal 7 rightmost arrangement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know that those have to be like that. Now looking at the vertical 2, we know that that can't be there. That gives us this 3. This 3 has to be here. And the only place left for the 2 goes to here. Great. So looking at this vertical 6 has to be at least to here. We've got a vertical 3 where we know the top edge of it is. That gives us that. We already know that that's not there because we've got those 2's filled in, which gives us this 3. Great. So that's that row handled. This row we just don't know yet. Don't know about that one yet. All right, so here we go. Horizontal 2, we know that it has to be there. And then this is a 3, so that one has to be filled in. All right, we've got a horizontal 1, so we know that that has to be there. And that has a horizontal 3, so that has to be there. Horizontal 1, another horizontal 1. And then the only way to fit the remaining 2 1s into there is like that. Which then lets us look at this vertical 3 and 2. This couldn't be filled in because then it wouldn't be a 3 and a 2. So that has to be blocked out, which tells us that this has to be the 2 and the 3 has to be here. That's great because that fills in several things. Looking at this horizontal 3, that has to be like that, which tells us that all of this is blocked off. Similarly, this is a 1 horizontally, so we can block that off. So now we know that this 7 has to come to at least there. Yeah, and there has to be a gap between it and the 5. So we can put that there. And there's our 7. Beautiful. Looking at this vertical 2, 3, 1, we know that we can't fit anything above this, so this has to be the 2, this has to be the 3, and then the 1 is one of these 2. We've got this 1 here looking at the horizontal 6. That tells us we have to have some of these filled in. In fact, we know already we have to have all of that filled in. And then this has to be here, this has to be here to fit the horizontal 2 and 1. And then let's look at this verticals. So 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know that those are blocked out. Looking at these 8s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means that has to be there. That tells us this has to be here. Looking at the vertical 6, so that can't be there, which means that this has to be here. And we've got a vertical 4, so that has to block that in. Great. So that tells us this horizontal 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Vertical 1 has to be filled in there, which confirms our 9 horizontally, and we've got a horizontal 2. Great. That gives us our vertical 1 on that, which means that our 1 here has to be here. Excellent. So looking at our horizontal 3, can't be here. The 4 has to be filled in like this. There's a horizontal 1, so that has to stop there, which means that the only places left for the 4 is that and that. And 4 has to go here, and the 7 has to end here. There we go, Nonogram 10. What are you, cracked rock? Oop. Cool. Moving on, Nonogram 11. Hoo boy, 14 wide, so these 4s have to be filled in like this. We've got a vertical 6 that has to completely fill it. Another vertical 4 here and here. Great. These 2s, I think I could infer that lowest arrangement has to have this filled in, highest arrangement has to have this filled in, because 1, 2, space, 1, 2, or 1, 2, space, 1, 2. So that's true for that and for that. Cool. Looking at these horizontal patterns, we know that that's got to be the longest one's got to be a 2, so that gives us that middle 2. That actually tells us, the UI is telling us more than I think it necessarily should, but we'll take advantage of that. Yeah. It's telling us that we've got another 2 here, so there we go. That also tells us now The 4 is like this. Which means that we can do some deducing about these horizontal 6s. This 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 has to at least be over to here. Same exact story here, because there's no way for the 6 to be over in this section. So rightmost arrangement of it goes over to here, has to come over here. There's limits on how much the 6 can even fit into the others. Now, looking at this vertical 1, we know that that has to be there, and that has to be there. Does that help us with these others? Not really, no. Okay, we've got a 1, 2, 1. That has to... We could have figured that out just immediately. 1, 2, 1 has to fill in like that. 1 space 2 space 1, which eliminates the horizontal possibility for our 1 here. So horizontal 1 has to be like that. Same story here. Horizontal 1 has to be like that. That gives us our vertical 4. One of the ones has to be at the top or the bottom for this vertical, since there's not a way for both of the ones to be here. But, okay, we can look at our horizontal 2s here. Horizontal 2, horizontal 2, so that means both the ones have to be here and here. Great. Horizontal 6 has to have that filled in, which means that we can fill that out. Same story here. We know that that's not there. Horizontal 1s mean that these can't be filled in. Horizontal 1, horizontal 2, horizontal 1, and a horizontal 2. Nice. We've got a vertical 1, 2, 1, so that has to be like this. So that means that we know that that's not like that. So that means that the 4 has to be like that. Horizontal 2 has to be like that, which means that this horizontal 2 has to be like that. That completes our vertical row there. Great. We've got a vertical 2, so that has to be like that, and this has to be like this. So that gives us a right edge for our horizontal 6s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blank. And then same story up here, which means that the only thing left is the 1 here and the 1 here. So that can't be there, that can't be there, which means that this has to be here and here. Nonogram 11! What are you? Oh, $20. Nice. I get that it's like the ring of $1, but it does make it kind of read like $1,201, you know? Pixel art. Okay, Nonogram 12, here we go. We've got a 208, and this thing is 14 wide. And 7 tall. So let's do this vertical 2, 1, 2. So vertically 2 space 1 space 2. We know that that has to be like that. That also gives us a left edge, a left minimum for a right minimum for our vertical 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That has to be like that. That also tells us a lot vertically because we've got these vertical 1s here. So we can blank all that out. We also see that these are 1s, so there can't be anything there. That gives us some useful information for these horizontals right here. Horizontally, we know that the 4 has to be over here, and the 2 horizontally has to fill this in. Same story right here. This has got a 3 vertically, so this has to be filled in with these blanked out. And this is, the 8 has to go over to here. Great. Okay, so we've got the 1s vertically here. completely filled out. So that means that we can blank all of this out, which does tell us, okay, the 2 has to be over here. And we've got these vertical 1s, which we can blank all of this out. Horizontal 2, that means that that can't be here or here. Or here or here. Same thing with the horizontal 3. Over here. Or here, or here. Or here. It's really narrowing in. Horizontal 4s, we know that those 4s have to be there. And we've got the vertical 1s, so those have to edge out. We've got a vertical 1 here and a vertical 1 here, which means that our horizontal 3 has to be here and here. Can't be like that. Vertical 1, which means that this vertical 5 has to be like that, and that only leaves that guy. Hookshot? Cool. Is that the hookshot? I'm not totally sure. All right, nonogram 13. It's 12 wide, and we've got a 12 right here, so that gives us a start right off the bat, which is great. And because of the 12 filling in, that tells us where this 1 vertically is. So we can go ahead and mark all of that off, which is great. And because that 1's blocked that off, that means that this 11 has to be like this. That also gives us some limits because of this 4 here. 4 can't reach to these. Excellent. Our 6 would have to fill this in horizontally, which gives us a vertical 1 limit, which tells us the next one, this 5, has to fill those in. Great. This vertical 7 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, has to come up to at least here, or vertical 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so it can't reach up to here. Similarly with the 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Might reach all the way to the top. We don't know. Looking at the horizontal 4, this has to come at least to here and couldn't come over here. Because like it just couldn't reach over. Similarly with the 3, might reach over to here, but there's only one 3, so it can't come over to this. Looking vertically at these 4s, there's not room for a 4 here. There's not room for a 4 here, so we can block those off. 3 and 3, so we know like it could reach here, and then the next one could start. This one could only reach over to here, so we know that these aren't like this. That gives us a top edge for our vertical 4s. That gives us a horizontal 3 and a horizontal 2. And our horizontal 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know that that's there. Looking vertically, we've got a vertical 1, a vertical 1, a vertical 2. That gives us a left edge for our horizontal 3. Bam. Which helps us know that this 4 has to be over to at least there. That gives us our horizontal 6 or horizontal 3. Ugh, words are getting hard. There's only the 1, 9 here, so that has to be here. There's only the 1, 7 vertically, so that has to be there. Horizontal 2, 4, 3. So we can infer then this 3 has to be here, and the 4 has to be there. Has to be. Which gives us, that completes our 4 there. which lets us look at this horizontal 3, has to be there. This has to be filled in now. Looking vertically, 5, 1, so this has to be our 5, and our 1 has to be here. We can go ahead and block all this off. We've got this vertical 3, 5, 1, so the 3 has to be here. We know that these can't be filled in because, not that one. These two, because of the horizontal 3 and the horizontal 4. Because we've got a left edge for the 3, we can now fill that in. Same thing for the 4. We can see this vertical 5, that has to be like that. Vertical 2 has to be like that, followed by a vertical 1, followed by a vertical 4. That's locked in. Vertical 2 has to be like that. Great. Alright, so we've got horizontal 1, 2, so we know that there's nothing here because we've got the 1 here. We know that the 2's there. This gives us a top edge for our 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We already knew the whole thing, we just didn't have it filled in. That gives us our 6. Beautiful. We know that there's nothing here, so looking at the vertical 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's confirming our 3 over there. We can fill in our 4. We can look at our vertical 5 here, which confirms our 3, 5. Bam. I'm not actually sure what this is. It's a flexing arm. So a lot of these, when you're too close, you just can't read them at all. So, all right, Nonogram 13 done. On to Nonogram 14. This is a big boy. All right, we are 14 wide, and we've got a 10 and a 1 here. So if it were to be 1 space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We know that those have to be filled in. Because we could go the other way, 10 space 1 or whatever, but there's no way to fit the 10 otherwise. Does that narrow it down for us? Okay, that gives us this 7 here, this vertical 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That does help us a bit, I think. Yeah. 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rightmost arrangement of the 8 has to go to there. Leftmost arrangement would come to here, so that doesn't super help us. What else can we figure out? Three, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, space, 1, 2, 3. All right, so there has to be a filled in one there. Has to be a filled in one there. 1, 2, 3, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, space, 1, 2, 3. So the 4 is definitely going to fill these in? No. Definitely going to fill these 2 in. Okay. Okay. That actually does help us a good bit because we can look at this vertical 5, 5, 1, and we know that there's got to be a 1 down here, which means that this has to be our 5. And then this has to be our 5. There's actually only one way for 5, 5, 1 to fit in this 13 tall one. So that's good news for us. All right, this is nothing but 1s in this horizontal, so we know that that has to be there. Same story here. So now looking at our vertical, we know that the 3 can't fit there. We've also got 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. There's not room for 1 space, 1 space, 1 space. Yeah, this has to be a 1. Ooh, interesting. So it did just tell me more than I think it should have. Because I don't know yet which one that is. I honestly thought that it was the third one. But this is telling me that that's the second one. So there has to be 1 space, 1 space, 1, 2 over here. Which I kind of don't want to act on that knowledge. It feels a little cheap to me. Instead, I want to look at this. So we know... We don't know this. I can't extrapolate what I was just thinking. I was thinking we could say the 1 has to be here, and then the 7, but that you actually could fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 space 1. So never mind. Looking at this 5, 4 though. 1, 2, 3, 4 space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know that that has to be like that. Or do we? We do not know that. Because the 5 could this could be part of the 4. So that was a mistake on my part. I really don't want to leverage it sort of revealing too much to us right here. It feels greasy. Four, 5, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 space 1. We can definitely fill in more of this. So 1 space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's interesting. These two tell us that the 5, there's more than 1 space to the right of the 5. 1 space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So can we use that to fill in that there has to be, the 4 has to cover at least this part? I think we can actually go even further than that. These two have to be part of this horizontal 5. The 4 can't come all the way to here, so we actually know that the 4 has to exist somewhere within this, which means that the 5 has to exist somewhere within that space. Cool. Looking at this, all right, so we've got 1, 1, 5, 1. So we know that there has to be a 1 down here, which gives us a bottom edge for this 5. That's good news, because that helps narrow in on this 8. No, it doesn't. But, okay. 1 space 1 space 1 space 1, 2, 3. The 4 has to have a marker here. That gives us something. Not super useful on that column. This really is like telling us too much with the way that the 1s are highlighted. This is telling me that I can block all of this out, and I don't love that I know that from that. Okay, here's something. Looking at this vertical 1, 3, 3, 1. If this was filled in, there would be a 4. So we know that that can't be there. That's great, because that then tells us our horizontal 3, 4. That has to be like that, and we know that that can't be there. Which then, looking at this vertical 4, 5, we know that that has to be the 5. And the 4, no. this has to be filled in for this vertical 4. Same story for this vertical 4. We couldn't fit the 4 and the 2 underneath that break, so this has to be there. The 4 could be here and then space 2, or it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, this space, and then 2 somewhere down in here. But now we look back to the horizontal, we know that that's our 2. Great. Yeah, and the 1's going to be somewhere in here. And then the other 2 ones somewhere in here. All that's good. Can I extrapolate any further on those? No. We don't know if this is the 3 or the 2 yet. So that doesn't help us. All right, looking at this vertical 3, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, space, 1, 2, 3, space, 1. I think we can deduce that there's only, hold on, 1, 2, 3, space, 1, 2, 3, space, 1. Yeah, there's only one way that all of that fits in here. Whew, which is good. That gives us some stuff. All right, we've got a 2, 2, 4, so we know that this has to be one of those 2s. Looking at our vertical 7 here, we know that now that this has to be filled in. We've got our horizontal 1, 1, 1, 4, so this has to be a 1, and this has to be a 1. Our 4 has to fill these in at least. All right, so vertical 4, 5, so we know that this has to be connected, and that tells us that this can't be filled in, nor can this. We could still fit vertically 4, space 2, so we're going to leave that alone. We could have the 10 over here, or this could be part of the 10. Either way, though, this can't have anything in it right here, I don't think. Pretty sure about that. I'm fairly sure, but I'm going to leave it out. Okay, looking at this horizontal 4. So we know that this has to be filled in for that horizontal 4. If that's the rightmost edge, then this couldn't be filled in, nor could any of these. Vertical 3 is continuous, so it can't be there. Vertical 5 wouldn't fit in there, which means that we now know this horizontal 2 is there. And our horizontal 4 has to be filling these in, which means vertical 3 has to be here. And then horizontal or vertical 2 can't be here or here. Don't yet know about that 4. Our horizontal 3 has to fill this in, because either it comes out to here, space 4, or it comes out to here, space 4, either way. Looking at our vertical 3, like we've got an upper and lower limit for it, so couldn't reach down to here. That actually gives us a left edge for our horizontal 3. Great. Which gives us a left edge for that horizontal 3. Which gives us a left edge for that horizontal 3. That's great. Okay, that actually tells us a lot about this vertical row here. Vertical 4 and 2, we know that the 2 couldn't reach down to here or up to here. We know that the 4 would have to be filled in there and couldn't reach up to here. Which tells us this horizontal 2 can't fit into there. Great. So because of that vertical 3 there, we now know that this has to be the 1 in this horizontal 10, 1. So we can X those out, which tells us vertical 2 can't fit into there, and also horizontal 10 has to have filled these in. Vertical 3 has to be like that now. And we've got a bottom edge for our vertical 5, so bam. That gives us a left edge for our horizontal 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, still some wiggle room on that too. All right, we've got a bottom edge for our vertical 3. So 1, 2, 3, X, and then the 1 could be anywhere in here. All right, looking at the horizontal 5, 4, we know that this has to be filled in, like this has to be part of the 5, which means that we know that this can't be filled in. And this couldn't be filled in because the 4 just couldn't reach. The 4 definitely would have to come out to here, though, which gives us our vertical 2. All right, we've got the vertical 3, 1, 1, so this has to be a 1 here. This also has to be a 1 here, which gives us a bottom edge for our 3. Beautiful. All right, our 7 has to be here vertically, and we've also got a vertical 1, so that has to be here. That tells us our 2 is there, which tells us nothing is here. That gives us a completed 5 here, so we can X that out. Ooh, because we've got this X'd out over here, how did we get this X'd out, actually? Well, we know that vertical 2 has to go here, which means that we know that this can't be here. Horizontal 4 has to be here. That gives us our vertical 1. Also gives us a bottom edge for our vertical 2 and 3, so we can X all this out. Vertical 5, like there, which means that the vertical 3 has to be there. This 4 has to be here, which means that the 2 can't be down here. We got a horizontal 4, so that has to be there. And a horizontal 4 here. So we can block these out. That gives us that edge. We need a 2, so it has to be here. That completes our 4s vertically. All right, this row's only 1, so we know that we can block that off. This kind of feels like guesswork now. Like I don't know how I could, like I can obviously just guess my way through this. But it feels a little arbitrary. Like I'm trying to see a rule that I could force on here that would make it make sense. All right. All right, there's a 1 somewhere between these two, and there's a 1 on each of those columns. The 2 here is probably the smoking gun. Yeah, gosh, I really have just like worked myself into a corner Okay, here it is. Here it is. Here's our we know something. 1 space 1. So 1 space 1. There we go. And so that means that can't be there. One of the ones has to be here, so that X's that out. This has to be a 2, so that has to be there, which means that we have to have the point there. Oh, it's a rabbit. All right. Nonogram 15. Let's go. It is 14 wide, which is good news because we got some 9s and some 4s horizontally. So we just know for a fact that these rows are filled in like this. Looking vertically, we've got this 7. So if this was at its highest arrangement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so we know that this can't reach up to here. We've also got a 5 and an 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That has to be there. And we've got a 3 and a 4. Could be there. But the 8, 1, the 8 has to completely fill this. So, all right, that's good news because that gives us some stuff to work with for our upper edges. Like, for example, this 4 has to fill these in. This 3 has to fill this in, and this one, same with this right here. This 5 has to fill those in. This 3 has to fill all of that in. This 5 has to fill all of this in. Gosh, this is actually huge. All of these verticals that have to be filled in. All right, and so we have just inferred this 1, 3, 8. And because of that, we can look at this vertical 2, and we know that that 2 has to be there, which gives us a left edge for this horizontal 3. Nice. We know that there's an 8 there, so that has to be continuous, and this 2 has to be there, the horizontal 2. That then gives us something for this vertical 2, so we can X that. And there's a 5 vertically and a 2, so that has to be like that. Looking at this horizontal 1, that has to be blocked in. We've got a horizontal 6. So that has to be at least there. Looking vertically, got a vertical 1, a 7. So that gives us a bottom edge for our 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gives us a bunch of X's there. We can look at this horizontal 4 and say, all right, that has to be there. And we've got that 1 and the 6 horizontally, so that's locked in. We know that this horizontal 2 can't fit there. We know that this horizontal 4 has to be at least to here. This horizontal 6 has to fill in these. This horizontal 9 has to fill in these. This horizontal 6 could reach to here, or it could reach to here horizontally, which means that we know that the rest of this row is blank. We can look at this horizontal 6 here and say, okay, bare minimum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know that those 4 have to be filled in for it. Can't make good inferences. Well, actually, no, we can. If this was filled in, we would have a vertical 6, which we don't. So we know that we can put an X there, which tells us this has to be the 5, and the rest of this column can be blanked out. Similarly, can't have anything here because that'd be a vertical 6. So that gives us our 1 and our 5 and our 4. Because we've got an X here, has to fill in this space, but couldn't fill in this space. Which means that we know that our 3 horizontally couldn't fit in here. This spot has to be filled in. Vertical 1, so we can X that out. And we've got a left edge of our horizontal 3 here, so that gives us that, which does let us complete our vertical 4. Nice. There's not room for there to be a 3 here, so that tells us that we have to be there and there, and that's our 9. Beautiful. We've got a vertical 3 here, so there's that, and that has to be filled in here and here. We've got a vertical 5 and 6, so this has to be part of the 6. I don't think either of them could reach to here. Yeah. That feels a little in my brain, so I'm going to leave that be. But down here, we know that we've got horizontal 1 and another horizontal 1, so that has to be one of the ones right there. Does that help us vertically? It does, because we've got this vertical 6. So this has to, the only way for that vertical 6 to fit is there. And then we've got a 1 and a 5. Ooh, and this actually also, we can use this to extrapolate this top row. Horizontal 3 and a horizontal 4. So this has to be our 4. And our 3 can't fit there, which then lets us know that our vertical 5 has to be like that. Cool. And that lets us know that this horizontal 6 has to be here. We can use that to confirm that our vertical 5 is here and our horizontal 2 ends there. The rest of this row is blanked out. We've got this vertical 3 and 1, so that confirms all of that. And that's our 6. Similarly, 3, 1, 6, 1. There we go. This 6 can now only fit in here by filling both of these spots in. That also confirms our 7 horizontally. We've got a 1 that has to be here and a 4 that has to be here. We've got a 6, 4, 1 vertically, so 6 and then 4. So there can't be anything here. Has to be a 1 here. That completes our 3 over here, which corroborates this horizontal 3, so it can't be there. We know that this can't be here because of the vertical or the horizontal 4. We've got a vertical 3 and 5, so the 5 has to come here. Can't be down here, which means that our 6 has to be here. Which means this can't be filled in. Great. We've got a horizontal 2, so that has to be there. That gives us our vertical 3, which means that this can't be here, which means that this has to be filled in. Nice. Let's do... Whoop. It was rocks. Debris. We'll do one more. Ooh, a nice small one. All right, so it's 7 wide, so this 5 has to be filling in horizontally here and here. It's 7 tall as well, so this 6, there's only 1 pixel of wiggle room there, which means that our horizontal 3 here couldn't reach to here or to here. Which means that our vertical 3 could not be here, but must cover this one. Which means that our horizontal 5 could not reach to here. All right. All right, we've got this vertical 1, 2, 1, so we know our 2 here. That gives us a left edge for our 3. There's still room for the horizontal 2, 1 to be arranged in here, interestingly, but we do now have some limits on our horizontal 3 there. Looking vertically, we've got a 1, 3, so we know that that's our 1, and we know that that's our 3. We've also got this vertical 3 here, so we know that it has to fill this in, but couldn't fill any of this in. So that now gives us our horizontal 3 there. Vertical 1, 2, 1, so can't be here. The 1 has to be down here. That means that our 2 can't be here. Could be here or here, but couldn't be here. We've got the vertical 3 now has to be here. This 5 couldn't reach to here. This 5 we've completed kind of by accident. The vertical 3, we've got a bottom edge for it, has to be down here. Couldn't be here, so this 2 has to be here, which completes our 6. We've got a horizontal 2, so that has to be filled in. Can't be here. We've got a horizontal 1 and 1, so this has to be filled in, this has to be filled in, and this... Ooh, I've made a mistake! Somewhere. Oh no, our first, we biffed it. Let's reset the board. Oh no, that's the first time we've come to a bad solution. So let's just try again. This board is 7 tall, so the 6 has to be here. The 5 has to fill in here and here. That gives us our vertical 2. We know that there's a vertical 1 then. Our horizontal 2 can't reach to any of these spots. Our horizontal 3 can't reach to here. No, that was a mistake. Can't reach to here. Can't reach to here. We've got a left edge for our 3, so that blocks off the rest of this row. We can't, the vertical 3 can't fit in here, so we can block that off. So we know that this has to be filled in, and that has to be blocked out. Vertical 3 has to be up here. That tells us our horizontal 2, 1 has to be here. That gives us our vertical 1 here. Our horizontal 5 has to extend to here and here. That is confirming our vertical 3. Horizontal 3 has to fill into here, which tells us that's our vertical 1. We've got our vertical 1, 1 up here, so one of those ones has to be here. That confirms with our horizontal 1, 1. I do kind of feel like there's multiple valid solutions from this point. Okay. This 5 could be over here, but that would then mean that this one couldn't be filled in because of the vertical 1, 1, which would mean it would have to be here, which would be a non-continuous strain over here. So that feels like some evidence to me. Yeah, both of these rows can't be left aligned or right aligned. One of them has to be from the other. One of them has to complete this vertical column. And because we have to have a continuous 3 over here, it means that it has to be this one. And this one has to be blocked out, which means that our 3 has to be there, which means that our 1 has to be there. It's a bird. Cool. I'm gonna have to re-watch what I did to see where I made the error. I'm super interested by that. But I think that is probably a pretty good session for us. We got, what, 7 of them done? So going slower than previous recording, but that's to be expected. The first few are probably the easiest, and they probably get harder as we go along. Though, thus far, number 5 has been, by a significant amount, the hardest, the slowest to complete. So, yeah, I'll upload this and chapter it. I guess I'll 16. I might chapter in 2 halves, getting 16 wrong and then getting 16 right. So, yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate it. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.